about the chemical coordination and integration. Before discussing the chemical coordination, we have to discuss what are endocrine glands. So, what are endocrine glands? Endocrine glands are the ductless glands which do not have ducts. They release the hormone direct to the target cells, whereas exocrine glands having duct, they have duct where storage of the hormone take place. So first we discuss about what is hormones. So hormones is a chemical messengers which are non-nutrient substances secreted in traces in nanograms. Boyles and Starling are the first scientists who discovered first hormone which is known as secretin, which is present in epithelium lining of small intestine. Now we are discussing some of the endocrine glands in which hypothalamus is located at the floor of diencephalon, which is at forebrain. Here is a pituitary gland. In pituitary gland there are anterior pituitary, intermediate lobe and posterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is known as neurohypophyse, whereas the anterior pituitary, which is known as pars distalis, and median lobe, which is known as pars intermedia, are called adenohypophyse. Adenohypophyse. So, the pituitary gland is located in the cavity known as sala turcica, which is an sphenoid bone of the skull. Are some hormones which are directly poured into the adenohypophyse, which is growth hormone releasing hormone, growth hormone inhibiting hormone, thyrotrophin releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing hormone, which includes both FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, and LH. Then is corticotrophic releasing hormone, prolactin releasing hormone, and prolactin inhibiting hormone, which is known as dopamine. The pars media only release one hormone, which is melanocyte stimulating hormone MSH. Here is the infundibulum and hypophyseal portal vein, which is connected to the anterior pituitary. Here it is written that the pituitary gland is located in the bony cavity known as sala turcica and is attached to the hypothalamus by a stalk. It is divided anatomically into adenohypophyse and neurohypophyse. As I told you that the adenohypophyse consists two portions, pars distalis means anterior pituitary and pars intermedia means the intermediate lobe. The pars distalis region of the pituitary, commonly called anterior pituitary, produces growth hormone, prolactin releasing hormone, thyroid stimulating hormone TSH, adenocorticotropic hormone ACTH, luteinizing hormone, and follicle stimulating hormone, which are gonadotropin releasing hormone. Pars intermedia only secretes one hormone, which is melanocyte stimulating hormone MSH. Here it is written that the pars intermedia is almost merged with the pars distalis. It means the pars intermedia is merged with the anterior pituitary. That's why we are known it adenohypophyse, and the posterior pituitary is known as neurohypophyse. After that the posterior pituitary secrete two hormones which are known as oxytocin and vasopressin. The oxytocin is secreted from the paraventricle nuclei, and the vasopressin, which is also known as ADH antidiuretic hormone, is released from the supraoptic nuclei. Oxytocin is responsible for the contraction of the uterine muscles during childbirth, ejection of milk, which is by synthetic oxytocin. The synthetic oxytocin is known as pitocin. The vasopressin is responsible for the absorption of water from the kidney tubules. The kidney tubules are DCT, distal convoluted tubules, PCT, proximal convoluted tubules, and collecting duct. If the vasopressin is not released in sufficient amount, then it can cause diabetes insipidus, which is due to the insufficient ADH or insufficient vasopressin, in which there is a polypsia, means there is a 10 to 15 liter of urine pass out daily. Then we have pituitary gland, which is ectodermal in origin, which is known as master gland of the body, whereas the hypothalamus is known as master of master gland. It is pea-sized, located in sella turcica, a cavity in sphenoid bone. Hypophyse is divided in two parts, adenohypophyse and neurohypophyse. Adenohypophyse is divided in two parts, pars intermedia, which is release one hormone MSH, and pars anterior, or we known as pars distalis, which release 6 hormones, and neurohypophyse, which release 2 hormones, which are oxytocin and ADH, which is also known as vasopressin. The trophic hormones are the hormones that stimulate other glands, which is thyroid stimulating hormone, follicle stimulating hormone, which stimulate testes and ovary to produce gametes, luteinizing hormone, which stimulate testes and ovary to produce gametes, adrenocorticotropic hormone, which stimulate adrenal cortex. Here it is written that the neurohypophyse pars nervosa, also known as posterior pituitary, store and release 2 hormones called oxytocin and vasopressin, which are actually synthesized by the hypothalamus and are transported axonally to the neurohypophyse. Means a posterior pituitary store and release 2 hormones, which is oxytocin and vasopressin. Now the growth hormone. Growth hormone increase protein synthesis. It also increase blood glucose level. Growth hormone is released from the liver. The intermediate in is somatomedins, which is acting on the target cells. You already know about the African pygmies, which are of small height because they do not have somatomedins. Although they have the growth hormone, but they do not have somatomedins. Now, if the hypersecretion of growth hormone take place, then dwarfism will occur, a person with the short height. If hypersecretion of growth hormone, then there is a 2 conditions. It occur at early stages, at early childhood. This is known as gigantism. It means the person is exceptionally tall. And second is at adult stage. The disease is known as acromegaly. The person is gorilla-like, and their symptoms are, which can be easily shown, is gynecomastia. Here, over-secretion of growth hormone stimulates abnormal growth of the body, leading to gigantism, and low secretion of growth hormone results in stunted growth, resulting in pituitary dwarfism. Excess secretion of growth hormone in adults, especially in middle age, can result in severe disfigurement, especially in the face, called acromegaly. As I told you, if the excess secretion, then it leads to the acromegaly in adult stages, and in early stages it causes gigantism, which may lead to the serious complication and premature death is unchecked. The disease is hard to diagnose at early stages and often goes undetected for many years. If a person is suffering from this disease, it cannot be diagnosed at early stages, and it only detected when there is external features is shown, like in gigantism and in acromegaly. Here it is written that the prolactin regulates the growth of mammary glands and formation of milk in them. Here written that the oxytocin act on the smooth muscles of the body and stimulate their contractions. In females, it stimulates a vigorous contraction of uterus at the time of childbirth, and milk ejection from the pituitary gland, from the mammary gland. Vasopressin. Here it is also written that the follicle stimulating hormone used for the growth and development of the ovarian follicle in female. Here melanocyte stimulating hormone, which is releasing from the pars intermedia, act on the melanocytes, which is melanin containing cells, and regulates pigmentation of the skin. The vasopressin, which are released from the posterior pituitary, act on the kidney and stimulate reabsorption of water and electrolyte by the distal convoluted tubules and proximal convoluted tubules, which are combined together and called as distal tubules, and thereby reduce the loss of water through urine, which is known as diuresis. You already know about the diuretics. Diuretics are the drugs that promote the excretion of water and electrolyte from the urine from the body, resulting in polypsia. It is also called as antidiuretic hormone because it prevents the loss of water through urine. Here it is written that there is an impairment affecting synthesis or release of antidiuretic hormone results in diminished ability of the kidney to conserve water, leading to the water loss and dehydration. This is known as diabetes insipidus. If there is loss of ADH or vasopressin, then it causes the diabetes insipidus. It is totally different from the diabetes mellitus, where the concentration of carbohydrate or the sugar increase in the blood, but here there is a loss of water through urine, which increase the concentration of sugar, but not that way that which is in diabetes mellitus. So in diabetes insipidus there is a loss of water through urine. Then this is all about the pituitary gland and introduction of the chemical coordination and integration. In next class we are discussing about the thyroid gland. Now you can take the screenshot of the book if you are not having. This is all about today class.